And everybody's out west is like, oh, but it's a dry heat. Yeah. Well, so is my oven. Hey everybody, Andy Kerr here with story and a point. I love winter. I love snow. And I know that's not popular, but I live in one of the snowiest cities on earth, hence the t-shirt. And I love it. I love snow all over the road. I have an all-wheel drive vehicle and I can go drive. I mean, two years ago, we had a record snowfall here in Erie, Pennsylvania, almost 200 inches of snow. I grew up just south of Erie in a place called Edinburgh, Pennsylvania, in the snow belt. That's where the cold air comes across the warm lake and just dumps a crap load of snow all over the place. And Erie doesn't get quite as much snow as the snow belt, but 2 years ago, almost 200 inches, and then in 2 days over Christmas 2 years ago, 65 inches of snow fell at the airport in Erie, Pennsylvania. It was crazy. It was like somebody took a hose, stuck it in Lake Erie, and just began spraying the city with snow. It was awesome. I loved it. There were some people stuck in homes and they couldn't get to the food pantry. I worked for the Erie City Mission, and so I want to go out in the snowstorm, so I took snow. There was no sidewalks. People are walking in the streets. It was really fun. You know, our summers here are just incredible. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. We have the lake and we have all this scenery and beautiful places to go, and our weather is fantastic. I went out west in Utah during the summer this year, and it was hot. I mean, like ridiculously hot. And everybody's out west is like, oh, but it's a dry heat. Yeah. Well, so is my oven. And it cooks things. And that's what I felt like. I felt like I walked out in the sun and I began to cook. The meat was getting done, medium rare. I don't like that. But also, I went out there willingly. I'm not going to complain about it. And that's the thing. Like, by the time we here in Erie, Pennsylvania, get to February and March, people start to freak out a little bit. Like when it's snowing, they've just had about enough of it. There is a real disorder called seasonal affect disorder. I think it started here, okay? And people really struggle. Once it starts still snowing in like March and April, people lose it. My older brother was born on May 8th, in 1966, and it snowed the day he was born. May 8th, it snowed. My mom remembers it very clearly for a couple of reasons. But you know what doesn't help is to complain, because you can't change anything about the weather. You can change your location if you want and not be in a place that's so snowy, but you can't do anything about it. So why do we complain? Why do we get so frustrated and complain about things that we cannot control? So what is the point? The point is, if we take a different perspective on life and approach it with this positive attitude, we have control over our attitude. We can't always control what happens to us, but we can control what we do in the situation, how we react to it. And so I guess the point today, how do you react? When somebody says something stupid to you, when somebody does something crazy, when you see something that you know is wrong, how do you react to it? What do you do? What is your attitude when somebody does something that really you just don't like? What is your attitude towards them? Do we take a second, think about how to react, and then try to think about how to react positively? One thing you can do is ask yourself the question, what do I really want in this situation? You know, because when we get frustrated, our brain stops working, the frontal cortex does not engage anymore, and we're acting emotionally. But what you can actually do is ask yourself the question, what do I really want? It actually literally changes your perspective. It changes your attitude. It changes your feelings. It re-engages your brain by asking it a question. Blood begins to flow back to it, and you no longer react out of a monkey brain. emotionally, but you actually act with rationality. You can think through it. Blood comes back, and you're like, what do I really want? And I want to ask you that question today. What do you really want? I'm going to hope that you want to stop complaining in approaching life with this negative attitude that just ruins your day and maybe others' days. And then you begin to approach it with this positive attitude of wanting to make a difference and impact in a positive way in your day. But you have to start it that way. What do I really want? I want to make a difference. I want to live a life that's positive. I want to help people succeed. So today, ask yourself, what do I really want? And stop complaining. Taking a positive approach to this day that you're in and begin to change people's lives and their perspective by your positive attitude. This is Andy Kerr with Story and a Point. I love you.